What's good, YouTube land? The Beast Wars isn't over, but Kingdom is, and therefore the War for Cybertron trilogy. And I figure let's throw some late wave love to a repaint. And just like the oil you poured down your sink last night, even though you weren't supposed to, let's get good and clogged in some pipes. It's Kingdom pipes. So here is this package. There's a nice action picture of pipes, or Autobot pipes, if you want to be more specific. There's this little truck mode. And there's that artwork we've seen so much, but is going away. Of course, he's an Autobot, if that wasn't obvious. And we'll go to the inside sleeve for the character card. Also, his accessories were stored down here. And I got an arc. The arc. And if you remove, it's burning up on re-entry. Okay. So, here is Pipes. And before we talk about the figure, I want to talk about him specifically for just a second. So, Pipes as a character. He has a weird fascination with our society, and not in a sexual way. I know what you were thinking. No. He's apparently... I read this on TF Wiki, so it has to be true. He has a whole section of the arc dedicated to himself, where apparently he's made a museum of like human toenail clippers and random other things. You know, I'd give him mine, but I actually use these. Here you go, buddy. So he's a collector. Something we share. I've never felt unintentionally more connected to a robot. But we have to talk about the toy, and inevitably we have to talk about the fact that he is a remold and repaint of earlier Huffer, one of the sleeper hits of Kingdom. A toy that turned out way better than anyone expected it to. And we'll see how Pipes has survived. And I honestly say very well. So he is actually a remold, surprisingly. So everything in the robot mode, from the crotch up, is a remold. The pants are new. I'm going to remove his aforementioned name from his arms for a second. The entirety of the arms are new. The biggest thing I'm surprised, he is an innie, where Huffer is an outie. But yeah, there are forearms, shoulders, chest plate. I'm going to do that to give you a clearer shot. Head, obviously. Apparently their wheels. Actually, yes. Their wheels are different molding. And I'm guessing the wheels on their back are different molding as well. But that is a surprising amount of remolding for what ostensibly they could just get away with the repaint. Like, give him a different head. You don't even have to do that much remolding, really, if you didn't want to. And that's kind of how early generations and classics kind of got away with their repaints as different characters. But, yeah. The biggest thing that's new on Pipes is amazingly a hinge at the backpack. Like, this adds so much variety to display options for Pipes, because Huffer doesn't have that. Obviously, because this is classic Pipes, not with the full truck cab as a hood. Although you can do that, looks all right. But this is his signature look. So it's very nice that they actually went that a little extra to give him that. Oh, and the head is new. Very nice helmet and mouth plate. And his lighter blue eyes give him nice life. I appreciate the Autobot symbol being on the backpack. Kind of makes his body cleaner, so you can look at all the molding in detail. He's very squared off, like intentionally. Like there's square molding on the chest, squares, compared to Huffer's more sort of angled and curved because of the crotch plate. But yeah, they do give off very different looks in the chest. I like it. And yes, he is blue. Dabba-dee, dabba-die. And I like to put pipes, for as long as I've been playing with them, in sort of arms out, elbows slightly bent kind of pose, because it kind of gives pipes sort of that come on and fight me kind of energy. You know, when he is a mini bot, and he'd probably be picked on and bullied for being smaller, this just kind of gives him a, oh yeah, you want to mess with me, huh? Kind of vibe. But with Huffer, I tend to have him standing on my display being like no, go away. I don't want to fight. Don't make me fight. With the shield and the gun sort of pointed like this or pointed down. So that is cool. Everything else from the legs down is the exact same as Huffer. So it works just as same. I actually kind of wanted to pick this guy up because I was curious if there'd be a mold degradation. But it's modern engineering, modern plastic. There's no more, I don't want to say there's no more such thing as mold degradation because it happens, but I think it happens a lot less than it used to in, say, classics and that kind of era. So let's talk about this guy on his own. He does have some nice silver pipes. Hopefully he's not named after them, but if he is, yeah, I could see it. Unfortunately, you can't go down them to enter either a sewer or a new level, but he does wear them as relatively convincing blasters. And with them, you have a nice variety of display options. You can plug them into his hands, which are also new molding, to give him the double blaster look. More cartoon accurate is the forearm sort of Megatron-esque positioning, which he definitely pulls off. You can also plug them onto his shoulders in a Optimus-esque smokestacks look, which is cool. You can plug one on the single weapon port on the entirety of his truck cab for a sort of mono laser shooting at the sky, sort of firing at the I don't know, Independence Day, fired a laser at the, or maybe Godzilla, kind of useless weapon, try and fight something bigger than yourself. Or if you don't prefer that, you have weapon storage on his hips. So yeah, he is quite a diversity of weapon storage. And you can put other weapons, but we'll just keep it to pipes for right now. But that brings us to his posability. His head is on a ball joint, and every ball joint can be a swivel. It has a, let me get the sort of backpack out of the way as far as it can go. Yeah, you can even bring it down that far if you want a completely clean back of the head. But you have a negligible nod, little bit of not really side to side, but you do have the swivel. The shoulder, universal joint, go all the way out, rotate around. You do get bicep swivel, which is actually pretty tight on my copy. This one's a little bit, they're both relatively tight. Elbow bends to 90 degrees, although it does unfortunately leave that sort of phantom, empty void of an elbow. And you don't have a wrist joint, although you have a transformation joint, which you can sort of fake as an inward wrist bend, kinda. Not really. You do get an ab crunch, which does leave his backpack behind it, but this is more for transformation. It doesn't tab in as securely as Huffer's does, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it's deal withable. You do get a swivel at the waist. Legs can kick forward. Could go back that far. You do get a beautiful spread, although if you rotate the leg up, and then you can get an even better spread, which incorporates the thigh swivel. Very good knee bend, mostly for transformation, but it does give you some tiger knee action. And you get an ankle pivot. Nothing forward bending, although you can flip the truck diamond plating up. I like this idea as an optional shin armor. I just wish his feet could actually support, like stand up when using it like that. They can't. I feel like that's a missed option right there, but yeah. Overall, posability is good. There's enough to get some fairly dynamic poses. I prefer to keep them in the aforementioned pose. Although, speaking of these, they're covered in silver paint because apparently they're molded in white. But they have this little... It looks like it's the size for an effect part, but that doesn't make sense. Unless it's like not recoil, but like if the... I don't want to say exhaust because that's a car, and this is a car, but I'm like, what's the gun equivalent? Like the smoke leaving the barrel after it's fired, but with a blast effect that'd be coming out the back end? That'd be a misfire, actually. If it was coming out the back end, yeah, that'd be bad. But, robot mode, very, very solid still. Like, I was surprised at how good Huffer is. It doesn't surprise me now that Pipes is just as good, if not better, because he has much more display options with his weapons and his hood. Well, it's sort of, I feel like Huffer's not limited, but I think just Pipes has more, especially if you have a good imagination. So, also, for size comparison, for a different toy. All right, so transform this guy. One cool thing is you can keep the weapons on. His arms don't really do anything much. So we can start. Rotate the backpack after hinging it out. Hinge the torso. And rotate the head. So hinge the shoulder all the way down and rotate it until it's about there. If you can see that. Rotate that all the way down. Yeah. Just to get out of the way. Fold the wheels out. And fold this back up. Put the truck cab all the way back. And then tab the arms into place. Like that. Make sure these sections right here are all the way back so the wheel has ample room to move. And they also tab into the hips, which I don't think I mentioned before. So now the wheels can spin freely. Fold down the hands just to sort of get them out of the way. And come to the legs, flip the armor, and collapse up. And then finally tab them in like that. And there you have Pipes in his truck mode. You know, I still think that's a relatively good transformation. It's intuitive to an extent. It kind of allows you to go at it either way you want, starting at the legs or starting at the torso. The only thing that can be a little bit annoying is the fact that the arms, they have to go with so many different angles to get out of the way of everything. But, you know, it's unfortunate that it leaves quite a lot of visible robot. But as long as you don't look at it from the bottom, it's a fairly convincing little truck. And I think it actually passes it off, or does it a little bit better than Huffer. First off, again, they have very different profiles. But I honestly think what puts Pipes over the top is the completely white arms and hands. Because they actually try and blend away into the illusion of truck bits a bit better than Huffer's black hands with silver. So there's the last comparison to Huffer. And now I'm betting you guys want to see me compare these two in vehicle mode. So you want me to transform tracks. All right. Boom. I did it. So here's the size comparison. Is this even accurate? Who gives a shit? Hasbro certainly doesn't. So we do have a bit of vehicle playability, predominantly in the pipes. So as previously mentioned, you can leave them on, or you can plug them into the back like that. You can take one and plug it into the single weapon port, which I totally didn't rob that jingle from Theo. Nope. Or you can futz with it a bit and plug them into the hands. So if you want them to have sort of rabbit ears, and you could plug Huffer's shield on, or you can plug Optimus's trailer in there. And I'm not going to do either of those things, so you can just imagine them. But besides rolling well, I think that's it for Pipes. So I do recommend a version of this mold, whichever one you want. Whether it's Huffer, hello, Pipes, hello, or their Fusion Puffer that actually exists in a 2-pack with some other guy. I can't remember his name, but I kind of want to get that set. Whatever version of this toy you get, it is definitely a good toy. So that's it for this. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. And freaking, I cannot hold on to things. Don't sing that song, because I might get copyright flagged. Yeah. I'm trying to think of something. Pipes. I guess you could plug another gun. Yeah, okay. You can plug another gun into pipes as pipes. Screw you, tracks. Or you can plug another gun. You have lots of options. And options are always good. So, I'd say don't pass him by. Unless you absolutely hate this mold, I don't know. It's a solid mold and a fun little toy. I don't know what else to say. I know what I'm going to say. Goodbye. Adieu. All that good stuff. And also, keep it weird. As if you had any choice. See ya.